something you guys mentioned, I'm curious, and I think a few people on social were kind of wondering about this as well. You guys alluded to money on the board games, the big ones we were talking about, Marner going back. I think a few people were wondering, what's the most money you've seen on the board from your days?
I want to go ahead, Razor.
No, I was thinking.
I don't remember a crystal clear moment, but I would guess the most money I ever put on the board. I think it was like $2,500 or like maybe $3,000, somewhere in there. Ooh. Yeah, I wasn't even on the team. You. That was Babs. When Babs came back to Toronto, I wasn't even on the team. When I was on the team, it was probably when I went back to Carolina and we beat him in Columbus. I mean, I want to say it was probably a couple grand. I think my usual, if I put something like, we go in to play the Flames, let's say like, everything was fine and, went in there a few times. I put like $500. But yeah, I don't remember. I want to say maybe there was something that I'm forgetting that might have been $5,000. That would have been the most for sure where I was at.
Yeah, I was going to say 5, and I'm trying to remember if it was like it was a Hall of Famer going back to his like that. Yeah, that's what would 5 would be. It's funny, Vancouver, like the guys were relentless. Like Burroughs and Kessler knew everybody's milestone, where everybody played, where everyone did. I remember I went on a run in Vancouver. I'm like the backup goalie. Like, dude, I'm making, unfortunately I had some money at that point, but they would get me it was like 2 weeks straight. They were getting me for $500 every game for like bullshit. Like, oh, you got drafted here. And oh, you got your third win against Columbus. So 500. And it's like, where are you guys coming up? And we just have like huge amounts of money. Like everyone would have it. Like they'd literally go through, I think the two of them the day of, and let's see if we can get 20 guys to put $500 on the board every game. And we'd win every game. It was like, what the hell's going on at the end of the year? Like, fucking writing that check for those guys. They were good at that, really good at that. But individually, $5,000 for somebody. I think I was only like a 1,000 or 1,500 guy because I didn't really play any big games later in my career when I actually had money. So, But yeah, that I think it's higher now. From all accounts, I haven't seen a board with my eyes, but from what I've heard, guys will tee it up pretty good now.
Nice. I hope so. I mean,
yeah, well, exactly. They're making real money now. Too.
Yeah. I mean, some of the guys, now there's that big, some guys aren't making as much, but then. Yeah, there's some guys making some big cash, so there better be some higher numbers.
Mitch Marner better put 5 digits up on that board for that game against Toronto.
Yeah. You would hope. Yeah, you would certainly hope.
But I'm curious for both of you guys. Razor, I want to defer to you on this one because, you won a major individual award in the National Hockey League as the Rookie of the Year. And not long after that, you got traded. Mm-hmm. I'm just curious, from a player's perspective, when you've had success somewhere and then you go away, what is it like going back for the first time?
It's stressful. It's nerve-wracking. It's a little confusing. Is almost a word where you get back into a city. It just feels different. You're going into that building in a different way, and you're in the hotel in a city that you used to live in. It's odd. And then the big piece of it though is not trying too hard. That's like that emotion of going in there and not wanting to push and trying to do too much, knowing that everybody's watching you try and get them back, and the build up to all of that, rather than just playing the game and going out and making saves or making plays as Mitch Marner's going to. I think it's going to be a real circus for him, especially going back into Toronto. There's going to be a lot to deal with over the couple of days, and I'm sure almost to a point where in that kind of a scenario, in that big of a circumstance, it'll be relief when the game's done, I think.
Yeah, I would think on the flip side. So, Kami, tell me this. I mean, whether you going back to some of your old places, I'm sure you played with enough teammates who also, like, there's been those emotional games. Is there much of a conversation as a group, or is that player saying anything like, hey, guys, I really want this one tonight? Like, are those conversations, or is it just kind of, it's left unsaid? Guys know.
I would say guys no, and I think instead of having a conversation, I think you can put your thoughts forward by putting more money on the board.
Exactly.
If you really want the game, then bump your usual number up by a bit. I would say in general, it's weird. Like from my experience, I mean, I got moved, but like New Jersey, nobody cared. Calgary, I would say was one like coming back, but like Calgary, I wasn't there long, but had a good time and everything, the lockout and everything moved on and it worked out great for me. So going back to Calgary wasn't as weird for me. I mean, Detroit never went back. Tampa was the end. Ottawa, nobody cared. I'm missing a couple here too. But the one for me where I went back, where I was like, or Columbus, I don't think I ever played there again, was when I went back to Carolina. I was like, I want to win this game. And I bumped it up on the whiteboard. And because I wasn't pissed at the Canes, but at the same time, I was like, man, I was pretty good there.
They let you go. Yeah. They let you go.
Straight to, the Senators too. Nobody cared. I forgot about them. But yeah, they shipped me out. So that was the one where I remember, or I was like, I really want to win this game. And you know what? We ended up winning the game. And I ended up scoring a goal on Cam Ward. I'll tell you what, I didn't score many. I don't remember many of them. I remember that one like, I've never yelled so loud. I was so fired up. One-timer right through the 5-hole, right from the slot. Mike Babcock gave me the puck. I remember it. I was like, yes. And I think I turned to Cam Ward. I think it said something like, I can't remember what I said. Nothing like way offside or anything. Suck it, Cam, or something like that. And but it can definitely, the one for me that was weird was Carolina, because I was there for my career. I was there for a long time, and it was coming back, and I didn't leave on terms like I wanted to stay, but that was one for me that I would say it was weird.
Yeah. So the going back to Boston, we won like 10-3, actually. The first time I went back to Boston, I got hurt.
Nice.
Blew my groin out halfway through the second period, but we were up like 7-3 when I was in Toronto.
In that game.
Yeah. In that game, I ended up hurting myself halfway. So it kind of ruined the day, but we were dominated. We crushed them. So that felt good. But obviously the big one for me was the Toronto one on Hockey Night Canada. It was the first time I went back to Toronto. I was in Vancouver, and Bobby Lou gave up 3 in the first period, and Abe saw, all right, Razor, you're going in. That's enough for Bobby Lou on Saturday night. We're down 3-0. Subsequently, the Twins get going. Burrows, Kessler, we come back all the way from 3-0, beat the Leafs at home 5-3. I play the last 2 periods, don't give up goals. And there's that video of me waving to the crowd, and Vancouver Canucks fans love me for that. That's the only reason why they really liked me, is because of that 40 minutes and beating Toronto in Toronto. And then the next day was they blew up the big trade with Calgary.
That was the next day, or right then.
We woke up really hungover and saw the whole thing got blown up. That was a pretty good feeling for me.
Wow.
Nice.
That's wild. And so was there ever a consideration? Would there have been a conversation with Alain Vigneault to start that game, Razor? Like, would you have wanted that?
No, I don't. The goalie thing's a little difficult, but no, I mean, that was Roberto Luongo's caddy. There's no delegating there. He did play me the rest of the trip, though. He kind of got fed up with Roberto because it was around the Olympics and he was not thinking about the Canucks, and I ended up playing in Ottawa. I played a few games in a row after that. But no, there was no consideration or no talk. That's for sure.
I'll just, based on what you guys just said there, I'm going to interject with just a shameless plug for the Clearing the Crease podcast here. I dare you to find 2 better storytellers than Commie and Razor, and just sharing those moments. Those are fantastic stories, guys. So, who knows? I'm sure it'll be a hostile crowd in Toronto for Mitch Marner as he returns. But
weren't they booing him in Vegas?
Yeah, he was getting booze at home, right? The Leafs fans. It's going to be ugly.
And honestly, I think this is big, and I'm going to get into this and don't puck it up coming up in a little bit, but I do think like that game last week, great game that goes back and forth in overtime. Vegas comes back to win it, so disappointing to let it get away from the Leafs, but at the same time, like Matthews came to play, he scores, Nylander's scoring, Riley scoring, like the big guns came out. Right. And Vegas ultimately pulled away. So it should be a fantastic game coming up on the Friday.